สวัสดีครับผมชื่อนายวิลาเลงรหัส625011030สาขา ICM. Today I'm here to present and show you how to create things a LAN network with subnet allocated by VLAN virtual local area network on program GNS3 or create VLANs as interface. There are three programs that I'm used in this work today. The program GNS3, the program VirtualBox, and the program WinBox. First of all, I'm going to create the MikroTik router CHR on program VirtualBox. So we're going to VirtualBox programs. And then in order to create the MikroTik router CHR on program VirtualBox, we need to click on use, and then on the name I will set the name for my virtual machine as MikroTik A, and then for type I will choose Linux, and for version I will choose other Linux 64-bit, and then next, and then choose the default values, and then next, and then I click on use an existing virtual hard disk file because I have downloaded the CHR file already, and then we're going to add the file from your computer that you have downloaded VDI CHR. Open, and then choose, and then create. Now we have created the MikroTik A, the router MikroTik already, so we gonna to set the network values for MikroTik A. Right click on system, and then choose on network, and then for adapter 1 we will choose net. We will choose net because for adapter 1 of the MikroTik router CHR could release the internet, and for adapter 2 we will choose enable network adapter, and we will choose host on list adapter. We choose host on list adapter for program WinBox could connect to the routers by the MAC address. And for adapter 3 we will enable network adapter, and we choose not attached because it is not yet connected to any interface. As far as the adapter 4 we will choose not attached. For adapter 3 and adapter 4 will connect the LAN wires to computers on program GNS3 that we call that it is with the VPCS, and then you click OK, and then we're gonna to create another router MikroTik, the MikroTik B. We done this to create the news by from the first step as the MikroTik A. We just right click and click on clone, and then we change the name it to MikroTik B, and then next, and then full clones, and then clone. Yes, it has appeared MikroTik B, and then we going to set the network values for MikroTik B. Right click, and then goes to system, and then goes to network. For the MikroTik B we will choose all not attached, or adapter 1, adapter 2 not attached, adapter 3 not attached, adapter 4 not attached to. Why the fourth for the this clone or MikroTik B or not attach it because it is not yet needs to connect to interface of anything as it is not connected to the wireless yet. So we click OK, and then we have assess the values of the microtik A and microtik B already. So now we going to the program GNS3 for performing a simulation of a computer network. Goes to program GNS3. We wait for the program to respond. This is the program GNS3. Wait for it to respond. Yes. On the name, I will put the name. I will set the name as interface VLAN. Interface VLAN. So okay, and then we will going to edit performances and going to VirtualBox virtual machines and click on use. Yes, the microtik A has appeared, and then we finish, and then we go to edit the microtik A. On network adapters, we will set the values 8 adapters and Ethernet. Here we will choose port 1. Okay, and for the browse with symbols we will browse, and here we will choose the routers. Yes, click on, you could click on here, you could write the name, and let's to write the name. I click on here and choose router with first microtik routers, and then okay after you have browsed already. After we set the microtik A already, we will go in use, and for the microtik B again finish and edit the microtik B. For microtik B's network at network, we will choose the 8 the same, and port 1 the same, and general setting on symbol we will browse, and on here we will choose the switch ones. You could type it, but I just find it by here. Yes, you could write it which. Yes, and it will appear for you. Yes, I will choose this one switch. Okay, and then okay, applies. Okay, now let's see on the device. Yes, I have received the microtik A and microtik B. Now for microtik A as the router, I bring it to here, and microtik B as the switch, I bring it here. And after that, I will choose VPCS or PC's device for PC to for our network performance. PC for PC2, PC1. Yes. After that, we're gonna to connect the microtik to at Etherface to the switch at Etherface or microtik B Etherface, and then from microtik B Ether1 to PC1. Connect from Ether2 or microtik B to PC2. From Ether3 of the microtik B to PC3. From ether4 of the MikroTik B to PC4. Yes, already. But I want to know which one connect to which one. I will go to be used and source the highest interface labels. Yes, now it is from ether5 to ether5. Here from ether1 to ether0 of PC1. Here ether2 to E0, ether3 to E0, ether4 to E0. Yes, now we have connected fetch the name already. Now after that we gonna have to click start. And are you want to start all device? Yes. Wait for the program to run and all appears to the green light. Yes, it's appear now. A virtual machine. MikroTik A. Wait for the switch towards for the MikroTik B. Just wait for. Yes, now it has finished, and now you see MikroTik A and MikroTik B has appeared. That means it has run already. After we fetch this MikroTik A, MikroTik B virtual network already, we connect to the Winbox program Winbox to set the values for the router MikroTik A. So goes to Winbox program Winbox and then refresh like you see MikroTik for the MikroTik A, and then click on the MAC address and then connect it. Now we have appear here, and you can go to system, reset configuration, no default configuration, and reset configuration. Yes. Wait for the program to respond. Wait for minutes. The program is gonna responding, and then we could cancel, and then we reconnect it again. Now it has appeared for the MikroTik as the MikroTik A, and then now let's testing the WAN IP address of a DHCP client. So we will set up this DHCP client at either one of the router for receive IP address from DHCP servers. So we go into IP DHCP client and we choose either one. Apply. Okay. And then after we have as the ether one already we gonna have to setting the wire for net or WAN for source net. We will set up the source net as ether one of router for less source IP address release the internet So we going to IP firewalls, and then on net we will add. On the general we will choose Subnet, and on the interface we will choose Ether 1, and agent we will choose mask curate, and then apply, and then OK. After we have add the DHCP client and a firewall already, we going to do the VLAN interface. We will going to create a VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 on the router MikroTik A at the interface. So we going to interface. I'm gonna clear it. We gonna to interface, and then on the VLAN. On the VLAN we will add the VLAN here. We will add it as a VLAN 10, and on ID VLAN ID 10 to and interface we will choose Ether5, because like as the GNS3 we has a connect for the GNS5, like for Ether5 at GNS3, and then after that we will apply and copy for as the VLAN 20 and VLAN ID 20 and Ether5 the same, and then apply. OK. Now we have as the VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 on the interface already, and after that we will going to set the values IP address for the on interface VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. That's the IP address. So we going to IP address. Here is the automatic for Ether 1. So we add the IP address of Ether 10. The IP address 192.168.10.10.1 subnet mask 24, and here VLAN 10, and then apply. It is automatically generates the network IP ID IP's address at network address for us, and then copies. Here we set for the 20 for the interface VLAN 20, and then apply. It generates the network ID the network address for the VLAN 22, and then we going to apply. OK. Now we have finished set up the IP address of the VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 already by set up the IP address of VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 is makes the net connected route as the routing tables automatically. And now after that we going to set the values DHCP server at VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 of MikroTik router, that is the interface gateway to distribute the IP address for each subnet. I'm gonna have to clear it, but before we gonna have to set the DHCP server, I'm gonna have to set up the public domain name of my my device now, because the where I'm here, I don't use the DNS server, the DNS servers of the university, my university PSU passport, PSU Wi-Fi. So I don't have the domain name system of the university. So I'm gonna to use the domain name public DNS of Google and Cloud Cafe for Google as 8.8.8.8 and the Cloud Cafe DNS is 1.1.1.1 because I could not use the DNS of the ISP, so I'm gonna to use the public DNS. So I'm gonna to set the public DNS for my device. So I'm gonna to IP DHCP client. I will click on here and I will unclick on here DNS and then apply. Okay. After that, I will go to IP DNS. Yes, I don't have the DNS servers, so I'm gonna to set for Google 8.8.8.8, and here I will set for Cloud Cafe 1.1.1.1 and then apply, and then OK. Now let's continue to set the value for the DHCP server as the VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 of the MikroTik router, that is the internet gateway, to distribute the IP address for each subnet. So let's go to IP DHCP server, and then DHCP setup, and then here I will choose VLAN 10 and then next. The number they have generate automatically false. Next, here is the address to go out because like it has like construct the gateway or the networks already. Next, yes, here is the DNS server of the public DNS server. You can you can release cancel it, not use it because it already generates it the DNS IP DNS false already, but I'm gonna use these default values. Next, and here for the list time of you can choose the time whatever whenever you want, and now I will choose 30 minutes. Goes to next. Okay, successfully. Now I'm gonna to the DHCP setup for the VLAN 20. Next, as you see, the DHCP address space. Next, for the gateway of DHCP networks, is the address to give us IP address. Next, is the DNS servers for the Google and Cloud Cafe that I have set because I'm not in the university. I'm in the university, but where I sleep, they don't provide the same DNS Wi-Fi as the university. Like 30 minutes, that's the VLAN 10. Next, now it is successfully set up. And what I'm gonna after we set both VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, we will go to set up the values local DNS servers at router MikroTik A to release or save the IP address of the local DNS server from IP address of DNS of DNS. Now we gonna to the DNS of the public DNS. We're gonna have to set the values local DNS servers at router MikroTik A, and then we will go to IP DNS and click on allow remote request. Allow remote request. Here we it could make the DNS server at the routers MikroTik AS could release or set the IP address of the local DNS server from the DNS servers of the public DNS servers. And then after click on allow remote request, we will click on apply and OK. After that, we will assessing the router or other routing OS device by using Romans for MikroTik B. We will use the Romans for assessing the routers as like for the MikroTik B. So I will clean this up. I'm gonna have to tools and choose Romans, and then click on enables, and after click on enable, click apply and OK. And then we will open the Romans on manage switch or MikroTik B by open the virtual machine. So we will go to virtual machine for MikroTik B. For virtual machine at MikroTik B, we will for the login admin password. There is no password. Yes. Now we gonna have to the first, after open the virtual machine of the MikroTik B, we gonna have to fetch the name by the code systems identity. System identity says names equals, I will put my name VLAN manage switch, and then enter, and then yes, it appear here. And then I'm gonna to open the Roman on the manage switch MikroTik B in the virtual machine by the code tool Romans says number equal yes. Now we have complete the process of open the Romans on the manage switch already. So we gonna, after that we gonna have to open the program Winbox and click on the new Winbox. Yes, and then we click on the my address and then connect to Roman. After we connect to Romans, the MikroTik B that we have set the name to VLAN manage switch has appeared here. So we connect on its MAC address on its address and then connect it. Now here it is the MikroTik of the MikroTik A, and here is the VLAN manage switch for the MikroTik B. We have open this already. So we gonna have to setting the VLAN internet switch or add the VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 to on the VLAN manage switch. We gonna have to interface and then click on VLAN. We will add the VLAN as in the MikroTik VLAN 10 and ID 10 and ether file, then apply, copy, and here for VLAN 20, here is for 20 ether file the same, apply. Okay, now after we setting the VLANs in VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 on the VLAN manage switch already, we will going to create the bridge. So we will go to the bridge, and on bridge we will add bridge. The first bridge we will set the name of the bridge like VLAN 10. The bridge name VLAN 10, and then apply, and then okay, and we gonna have to create another bridge for the VLAN 20 and apply and okay. After that we will going to set the path of VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. We gonna have to port and then add. For the first interface we will use VLAN 10 for bridge VLAN 10, and then we gonna have to apply and then copy, and for here we will choose ether 1, bridge VLAN 10 the same, apply and copy, and for here we will choose ether 3, VLAN 10, bridge VLAN 10 the same, apply, okay. Now we have added the part of the bridge VLAN 10 already, so we gonna have to add for the bridge VLAN 20. Here I will choose ether 2, yes, apply, copy. Here for the same bridge VLAN 20 I will choose ether 4, yes, apply, copy, and the last one I will choose VLAN 20, bridge VLAN 20 the same, apply, okay. Now we have added the ports, the bridge and the port already. So now we gonna have to go to interface of the MikroTik A and MikroTik B for the user for VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 to set it to the user service for the connected computer could receive DHCP. So this, and go to on here is the VLAN manage switch. Here I'm gonna have to click here and use on user service tag, apply, okay, VLAN 20 user service tag, apply, okay, and then I'm gonna have to set it on the MikroTik on interface user service tag, apply, okay, VLAN 20 user service tag, apply, okay. Now we have set the user interface on the interface of the microdisk A and microdisk B already. So now we gonna have to go to GNS3. The program GNS3 to consoles on each PC from PC1 to PC4 for another to know that it could receive the IP DHCP or not. So click on PC1 and then console. Yes, it is come. And then right click on PC2 and then console. Yes, it is come too. And then right click on PC3 and then console. Yes, it is come too. And then right click on PC4 and then console. Yes, it is come too. Now I'm gonna have to know that each PC could receive the IP DHCP or not. So we're gonna have to use the code IP DHCP. Yes, it is Doras. Yes, it is here. It receives the DHCP. Now we're gonna have to show IP. So yes, it is the IPs of the DHCP. No, the IP of the PC1. So I'm gonna have to note it here. Yes, I have note it here. For PC1, this the IP of the address of the PC1. So I'm gonna have to do the same on PC2. IP DHCP. Yes, it is Doras. It works. It could receive the DHCP. Now I'm gonna have to show IP. Yes, it is the IP address of the PC2. I'm gonna have to note it here too. 192.168.20.254/24 to PC3. Do us the same. IP DHCP. Yes, it works too now. I'm gonna to show IP. Yes, it is the IP of the PC3. I'm gonna have to note it here too. Okay, goes to PC4. IP DHCP. Yes, it works too. I'm gonna to show IP. Yes, it's come too. It is the IPs of the PC4. I'm gonna have to note it here too. Okay. Now after all the PC could receive the IP DHCP already, we gonna have to ping from one PC to another PC in order to know that all the PC could connect to each other. I'm gonna have to ping the PCs to PC1. Okay, I'm gonna to write a pings to PC1 192.168.10.254/24. Yes, it's cam. It work here. I'm gonna to ping it again. 192.158.10.254/24. Yes, it could ping from PC 2 to PC 1. So I'm gonna to ping from PC 1 to PC 2 base 192.168 point 20 slash point 20.254/24. Yes, it could ping from 1 to 2 so to PCs 2. So I'm gonna to ping from PCs 2 from PC 1 to PC 3. I'm gonna to see its IP address. Ping 900 192.168.10.253 for PC3 253/24. Yes, it could ping from PC1 to PC3 too. Okay, at PC3 I'm gonna have to ping it to PC1 to PC2. It could ping or not. 192.168.254/24 sorry. Yes, it could ping from PC3 to PC 2. Now I'm gonna have to PC4 and ping from PC4 to PC3. Ping 192.10.253/24. Yes, it could ping from PC4 to PC3. I'm gonna have to ping from PC4 to PC1 to know it could ping from to each other. 992.168.10.254/24. Yes, it could ping to each other, but after it could ping from each PC, one PC to another PC, we gonna have to blocking traffic between VLANs using policy routing rule. We gonna have to block that could not make the PC could ping to each other by a drop for the for not connected. On MikroTik A, we gonna have to VC MikroTik A, and then we gonna have to IP rules, and then we choose on rules, and then we add yes for the ACR address. I will use 192.168 for the source address point 10.0/20, and then for the DSCT for the DSCT sorry for the DSCT address for the DSCT 24. For the DHCP address is I will choose 168.168.20/24, and then after we add it already, we apply and copy, and another one we gonna change it. It is for 20, and the destination address is 10. Apply. Okay, now we have block or lock up already, so we gonna have to test it that it could ping to each other as before or not. Like now I'm gonna have to ping at PC1 to PC2. Yes, as before it could ping. Now I'm gonna have to ping it again that it could ping or not. 168.20.254/24. No. Yes. Now I'm gonna have to ping again. Ping 192.168.20.254/24. Yes. I'm gonna have to, for the action I will choose action drop. I have the mistake on here. Apply, copy, and goes to routers again. IP routes. I'm gonna have to here. I'm gonna have to set it for action drop. Apply. Okay. Here for action drop. Apply and copy. Yes. Now it already, and we're gonna have to ping it again because we have the mistake before. I'm gonna have to ping to PC2 192.168.20.254/24. Yes, this time it could not ping because we have blocking. We have blocked it's already blocking the traffic between VLAN by using the policy routing rules. Yes, the first before I have forgot that on the action it is action drop, that it has a little problem, but I'm really sorry. And now yes, like mistake, we create a mistake, and now we have learned that we have the problem, and now we have shown the problem already. Okay, if we could not ping from PC1 to PC2, I'm gonna have to ping back that it could ping or not. Ping 192.168.10 point 254/24. Yes, it could not ping. It's timeout too, because we have dropped the traffic already, blocking the traffic between the VLAN already. I'm gonna from PC3 to PC4 192.168.20.254/24. 8.253/24. Yes, it is a timeout tool. It could not connect ping at all. I'm gonna have to break from PC3 to PC to PC4 to PC3 that it could ping or not 192.168 points 10.253/24. Yes, it is a timeout tool. After that, we have after we could ping together and then we block and then we could not ping. I'm gonna have to test that in each PC could ping to the DNS of Gogos or not. Like I will ping 8.8.8.8.8. Okay. Yes, it could ping. That means that our PCs, our virtual machine has our work has successfully because we could ping to 8.8.8.8 and then we ping domain names gogos.com, domain name of gogos.com. Yes, it could ping too. So for PC3, I'm gonna have to do the same. Ping 8.8.8.8. Yes, it could ping. And then I'm gonna have to ping gogos.com too. Ping gogos.com. Yes, it could ping the same. For PCs too, I'm gonna have to ping 8.8.8.8. Yes, it could ping. And then I'm gonna have to ping gogos.com. Yes, it could ping the same. For PC1, I think it will success the same. Ping 8.8.8.8. Okay, it could ping. I'm gonna have to ping gogos.com. Yes, it could ping too. After we have test to ping 8.8.8 and ping gogos.com on HPC already, I'm gonna have to ping it on the terminal of the MikroTik. That it could ping or not. I'm gonna have to VC MikroTik. I'm gonna have to use terminal and then I will ping 8.8.8.8. Okay, I'm gonna have to ping 8.8.8.8. Yes, it could ping. I'm gonna to ping gogos.com. Yes, it could ping too. Now, our work, my presentation has my presentation about creating a LAN network with subnet located with VLAN virtual local area network on program GNS3 or create a VLAN as interface have been finished. I hope you could learn a lot about my presentation and really thank you for your attention. Thank you very much and goodbye.